Yo, yo, yo.
Yo.
So we have a
Voice
lot.
just cracked.
Oh my gosh.
Can we reshoot that?
Oh my. Nah.
No, his
That's
voice,
staying in
his
there.
voice just
That's
cracked
staying in
America.
there. Yo, so on our podcast, we have a lot of things we want to get to, other than voice cracks. And
I got a long neck. It takes a lot.
And within that, we want to condense our content as much as possible. So we have created our trivia segment. Now we're coming at you with a playoff prediction segment. That way, when we're on our pod, we can talk about as much things as y'all want to hear us talk about. With that being said, here with my main man, Christoph, got Daniel introducing the playoff series to us. I'm ready to get into it. A little bit of a deep dive, a little bit of a prediction vibe. Dope. Daniel, Dan, the man with the OnlyFans, take it away.
All right, the first playoff series is for the second round. I'm gonna do is the Heat versus
Start
Bucks.
with the East.
That's right. The Bucks versus
I like
Heat.
it.
Bucks versus Heat. Who you
All
got?
right, I like it. So let's give our predictions first, then go into a little bit of deep dive. As Heat fans, I got a little bit to say.
Mm-hmm.
So Heat in 6.
Heat in 6.
Okay, why you ask? Why? ¿Quién? That's who, but whatever. I'm working on my Spanish. It's porque, right? That's oh yeah. All right, so I want to highlight not only Miami's defense in this series, but also their ability to score in different ways. Orlando, we saw come with, and even Brooklyn, when we saw them play Milwaukee in the regular season within the bubble. We saw the wall defense implemented against Giannis, and it actually proved to be very effective.
Yeah.
Miami has the defenders to make it even more effective,
Facts.
as well as the ability to switch from zone to man at the drop of a dime. Very underrated, a very underrated part of a defense. I think that just goes into coaching, which brings up my next point. I think I trust Spoelstra in the playoffs more than I trust Budenholzer. Spoelstra has some lineups that I feel like he's been tinkering with.
Yeah, facts.
Sometimes he plays with it a little too much, and we actually give up a big run. That's going to be the difference in this series. Who can capitalize on the runs? Miami has the ability to score a lot, especially in bunches and in a very short period of time. My only concern for them is how they sustain that through a 4-quarter game against Milwaukee, who can obviously has a star who can score almost whenever he wants.
Yeah.
A player like Eric Bledsoe, who is much quicker than any of our point guards.
Facts.
As much as I shat on Eric Bledsoe last episode, I know that he can bring a very crucial component to this Milwaukee team.
Definitely.
And then their three-point shooting. Can Miami shoot threes better than them? I think they can. For that reason, Miami in 6. For that reason, Miami in 6.
All right,
What you got?
Let me get my shit off. Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to attest to your point. Eric Spoelstra likes to play around with lineups. That's automatically. I take Eric Spoelstra over the Bucks coach
Budenholzer.
Budenholzer, yeah.
Yeah.
Because fucking Goran Dragic was a contender for 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah.
And he started last playoff series.
Yeah.
It averaging like 19 and 7.
No, especially in the second half. Really
Yeah.
came alive. Liked what I saw from him.
And I may even say Dragic may not start next series. The Bucks lineup is too big,
Yeah.
too quick. I don't see
Yeah.
that. I don't see Eric Spoelstra going into that matchup thinking I can put Goran Dragic on
Agreed.
Eric Bledsoe.
Agreed.
So Eric Spoelstra, he's gonna find a way to manipulate the lineup that matches up well with Milwaukee. And then at that point, it comes to look. The way I look at it, if you take just Giannis himself, off of that Milwaukee Bucks team, and you put this Heat team against that Milwaukee
Sweep.
Bucks team, it's a sweep. Sweep easily.
Sweet.
So now you're adding that component back. I'm going to go ahead and put him back in. And now Eric Spoelstra only has to focus on Giannis, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't match up with us otherwise.
Yeah, I agree.
So at the end of the day, I just logically, unless Giannis goes out there and averages 50 a game, which shit he might as well do. But I don't see it happening.
The real matchup to look at is Bam versus Giannis.
Exactly.
If Bam can slow him down, not even
Just a little
neutralize,
bit.
because let your team defense neutralize him. If the individual defense is good enough to slow him down, you're winning that series.
And adding a savvy vet like Iguodala who can
Exactly. I think Miami has the
beat Giannis.
roster. Miami has the
People
roster
know-
to
people
beat
know this,
Milwaukee.
but people know this, I feel, but they don't acknowledge it enough. Giannis is only 25.
Thank you. Thank
He's
you.
young.
And his offensive game isn't complete yet.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Yo, give me Miami in 6.
Our
Miami in 6. Jimmy Butler's about to have this rest that Miami is getting right now with all of the delays, with everything that's going on. This only helps Miami. It helps them get healthier.
I remember Daniel saying he has Bucks. Why is that, Daniel?
What's up, bro? Wait.
I was waiting for y'all to
How much you?
keep
Wait,
talking.
Bucks and what?
I have Bucks in 6.
Why?
Well, I mean, if you think about it like this, I'm not gonna lie. You guys brought up some great points.
Great points.
And I'm not gonna lie. If anyone in the East that could beat the Bucks right now, I would assume it will be the Miami Heat. But, like, I'm gonna go off of what Christoph said. When you take Giannis out, it's not just easy trying to find something to stop Giannis. Giannis last
Understood.
series averaged 30, 17, and 7.
But within context, that was against Orlando.
Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter who was he
Orlando.
go. I understand that. But you understand that they had the number 1 defense in the NBA. They also had the number 1 offense in the NBA. Chris Middleton did not play how Chris Middleton's supposed to play last series at all. And I know that he's. Listen, let me finish. I understand.
A lot of the things
I understand
he
you
says,
guys.
I just like.
I understand you guys are assuming that he's going to play as bad as he did last
No.
series as well, but you can't.
Go ahead.
And then as well, I understand you want to put the matchups together, and
Yeah.
yes, the Heat have more
And
depth.
the
Heat have-
basketball is a game of matchups.
and it is, and the Heat have more depth than the Bucks. But when you have a player like it's just hard to me to go up against a player like Giannis, like the way how Giannis is, and the way that team is put together. That team.
But you realize basketball is a team
Would
sport.
you-
It is true. I'm not saying he's not gonna be the only one there, but I'm just saying this team is literally. I see them winning the finals.
Would you
I see
argue-
the Milwaukee
would you
Bucks
argue
winning
that
the finals.
Orlando- Would you argue that Orlando has a better defender than Bam Adebayo on their roster?
No, I wouldn't argue that at all.
And
But
they got a game.
And
on-
Jim, like
on
they
the
don't even have a
Bucks.
defender as good as our 3rd best defender.
Exactly.
I don't care. You can have the defensive player of the year on your squad. I don't see anyone
If
stopping
anything,
Giannis.
you got the defensive player of the year on your squad.
Facts.
I just.
Oh, true. Giannis, shout out,
Hey, yeah,
man.
shout out Giannis,
2
defensive player of the
awards,
year.
man.
Yeah, he's also defensive player of the year.
And MVP.
Like,
Did he win MVP officially?
it's not official yet. LeBron
I'll
is
be
still-
real. The fact that he won Defensive Player of the Year makes me think LeBron's gonna win the MVP. That's another discussion for another time.
Hey,
Another
hold on.
discussion
That's
for
not what we're talking about now.
Another discussion for another
But
time.
shout out to LeBron. You know, y'all know
Another
LeBron.
discussion
I
for
think
another time.
LeBron should-
Fuck you.
LeBron
Ain't no
for
shout out to
MVP. LeBron for MVP.
Ain't no shout out to LeBron. Hey, but Heat in 6, Bucks in 6. We don't got this series going 7 games. I find that a little bit interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if
I
it
wouldn't
did.
be surprised it would.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
I
be
got-
surprised if Miami does beat them. But I'm not gonna say that right now.
You can't bet against Giannis.
I can't
It's
bet
hard.
against
I get
Giannis.
it.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. I respect that. I respect that.
Let's go to the next one though.
Yeah, what's good? What's good?
Celtics versus Raptors.
Ooh, see now this one on paper is actually very interesting, but this one on paper is very interesting, but the more I understand basketball very well, and the more I look into the basketball components of this series, it's actually not close. I'm gonna go Raptors in 5.
I'm gonna go Celtics in 7.
No, you're not.
I am.
Say it louder.
Say it louder
I'm
for
gonna
me
go
here.
Celtics in 7.
I'm-
For the same reason I go. We'll get to you, but for the same reason that I say Heat in 6.
Get your
Coaching.
shit off, bro.
If it comes down to coaching, I think Brad Stevens is brilliant.
You think he's better than the coach of the year?
Well, look, hear me out.
Coaching is not the argument I would go for here.
I mean, the way I look at it, right? Coach Brad Stevens has had trouble finding a set like the lineup that works when it comes to all the stars he has at his disposal, right? But when it comes to Toronto, they looked really good against the Nets. They've looked good all season. They're the fucking 2nd seed, correct? So
Won their most games in franchise history.
facts without Kawhi, which is a debate for another time. That's also insane. But the way I look at it, right? When you have a Kemba Walker, when you have a Jason Tatum, even a Jaylen Brown, like I look at their roster up and down, and I just say that they have guys that could be that guy on another team somewhere. Now, for Jaylen Brown, it'd probably be Charlotte. He would be that guy in Charlotte, but probably not like anywhere else.
It's a bad example.
But I'm just saying.
Like,
No, but
it's a bad example.
could he not be the franchise player in Charlotte?
No, Devontae Graham is.
Jaylen Brown is not better than DeMonte
No,
Graham?
he's not.
Okay,
Not at all.
I'll get you later for that off camera. But anyway, what I'm saying is, when you look at the coaching, I give it to Brad Stevens. When you look at the talent up and down the roster, I would say Toronto's better defensively, but at the end of the day, that Kemba Walker hasn't been out of the first round before. This is the first time being in the second round.
Can I ask a question?
I'll give you that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why do you think that Brad Stevens is a better coach than Nick Nurse?
Well, because Dwayne Casey under the same basic roster, if we're
The
being
same?
honest,
Substitute DeRozan for Kawhi.
yeah,
It's not the same roster.
At all.
no, exactly. But did Dwayne
You understand
Casey not win Coach of the Year as well?
He
No,
did.
he did. But
He
Nick
did.
Nurse has basically a better record than he had last year when they had a possibly a top 3 player in the
But
NBA.
that's why I brought up the Dwayne Casey point, because Dwayne Casey also was able to win Coach of the Year with a DeMar DeRozan under that same organization. Am I correct?
No, you're right. He's right.
But I get that. But I feel like if you put the players on paper,
So,
But we're not talking about paper. We're talking about
if you
facts.
put Dwayne Casey against the Warriors in that series, they don't win.
They don't.
I don't think they do. So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
even with Kevin
I
Durant,
think that's what Daniel's trying to say. It's like, we've seen Brad Stevens in situations where he wasn't supposed to win and he won. We haven't seen, like, actually, no, vice versa.
Vice versa,
We've seen
yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Nurse in situations
Where he
wasn't
wasn't supposed to win and he won.
Brad Stevens, I actually thought the Celtics were supposed to beat the
Brad
Cavs in that
Stevens-
series in
but-
2018.
But how can you say that when Brad Stevens was without a Kyrie Irving and he still took the Cavaliers to 7 games?
And actually, because he's performed better with
Less talent.
Exactly. So
But-
if anything, that just tells me that the coaching is on
but
point.
Doesn't that speak to my point that if the coach's only problem is not being able to integrate superstar, like not even stars, superstars?
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Because he could do more with less, correct?
So, but then why don't you have Boston? Oh, you do have Boston winning.
I have Boston
Yeah,
winning.
he
But
does have Boston.
Because you think Brad Stevens is a better coach than Nick
correct.
Nurse.
And I believe they have more talent up and down their roster. And I just think
Up and down. Interesting. I think Toronto's way more deep.
Really?
Toronto goes deep, bro.
Because you understand, Kyle Lowry.
You
and
Fred
Kyle
Van
Lowry,
Fleet's coming off the bench.
He starts.
He starts.
He starts a shooting guard. Yeah.
He starts.
He starts,
believe
yeah.
so. I don't really
Interesting,
know the
okay.
100% fact
And
right
that's a
now,
small backcourt
but
for
I
Jaylen
wouldn't
Brown
be
and Jason
surprised
Tatum.
if he did not start. I wouldn't be surprised if he did start. I mean,
He starts. Yes, he starts.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
started
'cause
all
I
that
would
series.
I would assume he does
Yeah,
start.
I wouldn't know who they're shooting.
But
guard
I'm
is.
not gonna lie. I do like that man that they have, OG Anunoby.
Anunoby.
He's a
He's a
These
baller.
are all
No.
scrappy dudes. Look, Toronto is one piece away. Kawhi was that one piece.
Yeah.
And they're one piece away from winning a title.
But
they're not there.
My thing with so I have Toronto in 5 because first of all, team defense is so important in the playoffs.
True.
In the playoffs, coaching and defense mean more than anything.
And the Raptors do have a top.
I
3 defense
don't
in the
think
league.
I don't think Brad Stevens outmatches Nick Nurse enough to the point where Boston wins the series. Also,
But you admit they're like close enough.
Agreed. No, both are elite coaches.
Yep.
But I don't think one outmatches the other enough
So what
for
does it
that
come
to
down
make
to?
a difference. So I think it comes down to
Talent.
Jason Tatum against good teams. When we look at Jason Tatum's history against good teams, there are some performances where we can pull out and create a narrative
I'm about to say,
around.
my dog banged on
No,
LeBron
there
2
were
seasons
some.
ago.
Okay, there are some performances we can pull and create a narrative around, but
What happened?
for the most part, exactly. At the end of the day, who won the game?
Who had that?
At the end of the day,
block
who
against
hit?
rookie.
At
He
the end of
was
the
a
day,
rookie.
no, I'm talking about this season though.
You're right. He's
I'm
not
talking
the
about,
same
you
little
feel me?
nigga
No,
more.
so I'm saying LeBron hit a step back, I believe, against Jaylen Brown to win the game against. It's just Jason Tatum isn't there yet.
You don't
he's
think so?
he's not there yet. Jaylen Brown isn't even a star.
But
in
you
this
also
league.
gotta also understand the Raptors already won a championship. Those players,
Exactly.
Siakam played
They
championship
kept-
basketball already.
They kept their entire team outside.
Exactly.
Of Kawhi.
They already played.
They
They
added
know
what,
where
Rondé
it's,
Hollis Jefferson.
Exactly.
They added a couple
They
pieces
know
that
what
makes
it's
them
like
better
to
as a
be
team.
in prime.
Yes.
They know what
Yes.
it's like to be in prime time.
And that was my next point. Kemba, to your point, Kemba Walker hasn't been here yet.
Okay.
Kyle Lowry has been here. I think Kyle Lowry's ability to play team defense as well as individual defense slows down Kemba. I
know
think
what?
Siakam slows down
You
Tatum.
have a good point.
I just
But
think the Raptors are
at the
built
same time,
for the playoffs.
As a hooper, you're a hooper too, right?
Of course.
As a hooper, right? Regardless of another team's accolades, even though they've been there.
Of course.
Do you think Kemba Walker looks at Kyle Lowry and sees fear? Do you think he looks
No,
at
no.
Pascal Siakam and thinks, I
I'll
can't
be
score on this guy?
I feel like-
I don't really.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Walker's been waiting his entire career for an opportunity like this to show people that he's been ready. He just hasn't had the pieces nor the coaches around him or the GMs to make a splash in the playoffs. So now that he's here, you think that he has this help and he's not going to show up?
What do they do better than Toronto, though?
What do they do?
Let's not talk about individuals, because I think on an individual point, you're right.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But when have we seen individuals carry teams in the playoffs?
I just think that
Basketball is about teams.
Because I'm such a fan of the game and I've watched these teams very closely. Toronto since last season when they went deep in the playoffs and won the finals. I just look at these guys and at their best, I've seen Toronto play at their best, and I've seen the Celtics play at their best. And when I see the Celtics play at
Toronto
their
looks
best,
better, bro. Don't say that.
I can't because
At their best?
At the Celtics
Toronto
best,
dropped 150 in a game.
at the Celtics against who?
Against Brooklyn.
Okay.
Understood, but 150 in the NBA
The
is
Celtics
150.
had a harder first round matchup.
They swept them though.
Understood.
Exactly.
In Boston.
You proved my point. They had
With
a
an
harder.
injured Ben Simmons.
Name
You
one
actually
player.
did prove his
Name
point.
one player better than Joel Embiid on the Nets.
Or even on the Celtics. I'd take Jason Tatum over Embiid.
So,
but it's close.
I don't know.
It's
about
close.
that.
but
That's
I'm
a
just
debate.
Very
saying,
close.
like
It's
the
very
Celtics
close.
had to go up against a powerhouse like Joel Embiid. But unfortunately, Ben Simmons went down. But Toronto had an easy sweep with a Kevin Durant and Kyrie-less Nets. Correct?
Understood. But Toronto came out and did what they needed to do, something that Milwaukee didn't do, something that the Lakers didn't do. So it's like,
But the Celtics did do it.
but,
so
but,
that's what
but
we're
here's
talking
what I'm
about.
saying. I just don't want dominance to go unrecognized. Like they dominated.
The Celtics swept as well. So how's that not?
But did they
dominance?
dominate?
You're right. They didn't.
Did they dominate? Exactly. See, like there
Against
were
a
some
harder matchup, though.
there were some games where I could say if Ben Simmons is on the floor, I think Philly wins this game.
If Ben Simmons is on the floor, they're not sweeping them.
They're not.
They're-
Thank you,
they're
Daniel.
not.
Thank you.
But how are you so confident though?
I'm very
How-
confident in saying
Yo,
that because
I'm
Jalen
hella
Brown
confident.
is not that guy. That's why I'm confident.
But
Jalen
that's not-
Brown isn't
you're
that
right,
guy.
He's the third
It's
guy.
not
Ben
even
Simmons-
that.
is that
It's
guy.
not even about
Kemba
that.
Walker is
Ben
that
Simmons
guy.
Ben Simmons is a way better defender than what? Shake Milton? Who's his name?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Milton, whatever
Philly
his name
was
is.
relying on bench guys to give them some offensive production. I don't
They're
think.
missing one guy.
To,
Let's calm
I mean,
down.
okay, but
And
in
we're not
tier-
gonna act like Tobias
No.
Harris a big.
And we're not gonna act like Ben Simmons
and
wowed
Al
people in
Horford
the
played
bubble.
like.
What did Ben Simmons do in the bubble while he was healthy?
Bro, Ben Simmons is an all-star.
What did he do in the bubble?
But Ben Simmons
Did he
is an
even play
all-star.
the
What did he do going into the playoffs?
He didn't even play in
I
the
think
bubble.
he played one or two
He played a
games.
game in the bubble. I didn't even know
Exactly
that.
my point.
He
So
played
got
like a
hurt.
game or two. I get you.
did
Honestly,
he make,
no.
is he making any All NBA first team this season, or any All NBA second, or any All NBA third?
He's probably making the All-NBA defensive team this
I
year.
can name you 2 or 3 point guards.
I could argue that he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. So
Ben
it's like,
Simmons.
yes.
He
Over
he
Giannis.
had the most
Absolutely,
steals this year.
Absolutely.
He led the league in
absolutely.
steals.
Don't act like it's that crazy. Watch
Yeah,
the
bro,
tape.
you know, this is
Yo,
Ben
I'm telling you,
Simmons.
Ben Simmons is a better.
Watch the tape. But
He's a better thief than Giannis in
I'm-
terms of
can I
steals,
ask you something?
and he can
Can I
guard
ask you a
1 through
question?
5.
Can I ask you a question? You're playing against Kevin Durant, and he needs one shot to win a game. You have any player at your disposal in the NBA right now. Who are you picking to guard Kevin Durant to not make that shot?
Ben Simmons or Giannis?
Ben Simmons or Giannis?
Ben Simmons. I'm taking Simmons. He's quicker.
Wait,
I'm taking Simmons.
Wait, is that polo hat still
I'm
over there?
taking Simmons. No, it
Where's
ain't
the
cap. This
where's
is not
the polo
cap.
hat?
This isn't cap.
There's a polo hat somewhere in
No,
here. I need
bro,
the cap.
no, bro. I think you really
That's
need to
cap,
understand the
America.
defender that Ben Simmons is.
That's cap, America.
Like, I
He's
just
a
think
great
you're a little
defender,
sleep.
but I mean, I don't understand why you even brought Kevin Durant into this in the first place. I don't get that.
I mean, that's the-
like the
because
Celtics
no-
don't have a player like Kevin Durant
No,
at all.
100% exactly.
At
But-
all.
I know. I'm saying like for the best.
I get it.
That's
No,
cap.
I do get why he brought it up.
That's cap.
I do get why he brought it up.
For the best defender, we need the best offensive player. Correct?
I get why you brought it up, but at the same time, Giannis, like, if you can slow anyone down with an individual defender, it boosts your team defense. If you look at, if we were to have Philly versus Toronto, I got Philly winning that series
Captain's
without
good,
Kawhi
I'm
because
not
they
gonna
went to they went to 7 games
I
with
got-
Kawhi,
I got
and
you
we're
too. I
you
got
get me.
Philly
So it's
too.
just like
It goes to 7. You said?
I yes, and Philly wins.
Without Kawhi against Toronto,
I think no. Philly against Toronto, I got Philly in 6 because they
a
have.
healthy Philly team without Kawhi.
But here's what also. But I want to go back to my point against Toronto and Boston. Boston didn't dominate enough against Philadelphia and an unhealthy team that only had Joel Embiid to build their whole entire offensive. To build their whole entire offensive structure around. They did not dominate. I didn't see Kemba. Kemba hit a couple good shots, but I didn't see anyone put on a performance that made me think, yo, this is sustainable to win series to get you to the finals.
Even though
Boston's run ends I guess in Orlando, against the Toronto Raptors in 5 games. It just is what it is.
Try to meet me halfway on this point, though.
Go ahead.
You're acting like you could look at Philly and say that even though they're not a powerhouse, they don't have a solid team. Josh Richardson played for the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris.
Yeah. A bunch of guys that could be the best second and third and fourth options on a team that actually has a chance to make it to the championship.
Exactly. So
Tobias Harris shouldn't be paid as much as
So
exactly.
Boston was going up against a bunch of dudes that are not the best outside of Embiid, that are not the best player on any team in the league.
But the 76ers, I don't even think they have a good the best 3-point shooter, I think, is Joel Embiid. And that shouldn't be the case.
But also, to my point,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
You saying, so what to your point, you're trying to say that Toronto dominated against Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Does Brooklyn have anyone on their team that is the best second or third option?
No.
Exactly.
Well, I'll give Karis LeVert.
I'll give Karis. That's one.
Philly has one.
Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson can't be the best third. He can't be a third option on a championship team.
Karis LeVert could be a best second option. Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson are the best third option.
That's already two. And Joel Embiid is the first option on a championship team.
I said third though. I said Karis LeVert could be a second option.
But do you agree that there's way more talent across the board on the 76ers than there is the Nets?
Of course.
So that's my point, and I'm trying to say that the Celtics still got the sweep. The reason that you didn't see them dominate is because the team was still challenging, even though Ben Simmons was not there.
Dude, I get you.
Why is it so hard for you to see?
And I want to move on to the other series.
No, we gotta go on to the next series.
I get you.
We'll see.
At the end of the day, we will see. Give me Toronto. Give me Toronto.
Give me the Celtics in 7.
Give me Toronto, man.
Next,
I got the Raptors in 7.
What's up with the West? The best of the West.
The West. Okay, so there's one series that's still on.
Yeah.
And it's either, I'm not gonna lie. We already know that I'm pretty sure
the Lakers are winning tonight.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the Lakers are going.
The Lakers are going to move on and play
sure
the winner.
The Lakers are pretty.
Yeah. The Lakers are moving on.
He gotta say something because he was on that bullshit earlier.
Let me tell you something.
He was on that bullshit earlier.
Stop.
You're about to see
a
performance unlike any other from Carmelo Anthony. Okay.
Stop.
The series will go on.
I'm so sorry.
Just swallow this. Chug the whole bottle.
I'm so sorry. With that being said,
so we're gonna say Lakers. Lakers versus either Rockets or Thunder, because Rockets and Thunder can go either way.
That can go either way, and I'm not mad at that going either.
I wanted some.
He did it. I got the Lakers going against the Thunder because I like the Thunder in 7 in this series. Russ coming back plays a huge role, and I could look so stupid for this, but I still think the Thunder pull it out because I'm just going back to a point I made about the Heat. I like the Thunder's coaching. Billy Donovan is a great coach. I like the way that the Thunder can manufacture points within the system that they have. Chris Paul is showing that he got years left on him, bro.
Facts.
Like, he's got mileage left on him. He looks great. He looks healthy. He looks explosive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a hooper. He came to hoop. Lou Dort is one of the most underrated defenders in the NBA.
Facts.
Steven Adams is one of the most underrated defenders in the NBA.
You don't know about Steven Adams. Let me tell you something. Aquaman.
Yo, it's funny that my girl actually said the same thing when watching Steven Adams. She was like, "That looks like Aquaman." Like, is that Aquaman? Like, she had to confirm. Like, let me look it up real quick. But bro, so here's what I'm saying: Thunder in 7, Thunder versus Lakers, Lakers in 5.
Bet.
Because if the Lakers gave up a game to Portland, I also see them giving up a game to OKC. LeBron and Chris Paul are good friends. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I think LeBron gives up a game to Chris Paul. I think he does. Call me crazy. I think LeBron gives up a game. Anthony Davis gets locked down by Steven Adams for 1 game. Some bullshit. Lakers win in 5. Houston can't hit threes consistently. But that's their entire offense. Like,
All right,
so I
so-
just don't have them winning the series.
So
I hate James Harden, so let me just get that off.
Oh, in terms of the
For
because
no
at the
reason.
filming,
Fuck James
at,
Harden. Fuck
at
no
the time
reason.
of this recording, OKC is tied with Houston 2-2.
They play tonight, 6:30.
They play tonight at 6:30.
They're playing now.
And I see OKC winning in 7, mainly because, look, man, Houston decided to run with small ball. It was effective against most teams,
Regular
but.
season.
But OKC is not like most teams, as you guys clearly get to see. Oh yeah, you're not capping no more. Okay,
I'm not.
So
I can't wait till that side say something.
OKC is not like most teams, and with Westbrook coming back, a player who is not at all, not even top 30 spot up shooters of all time, like or right now,
Even in the league, yeah.
even in the league, top 30 shoot
One,
like spot up.
I'm willing to say one of the worst spot up shooters in the NBA.
So I think he staggers the Houston offense. I think James Harden and him, like the dynamic of them just switching off between who gets to get a bucket, like isn't gonna work against someone as smart as Chris Paul. Chris Paul is
He's the leader of that team.
He's a genius.
Absolutely.
Like
Point guard.
in
Second
for
basketball Q
for those for just to put things in perspective. You understand? He's the president of the Basketball Association right now.
Yeah, he is the president.
The
You're
Kyrie's
right.
the vice
Kyrie's
president.
Yeah.
Who's also a very intelligent point guard.
Yes, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
you have to understand, like, to be there, you have to have education. You have to have a brain.
Absolutely.
And he has that on and off the court. Just watch this man play. His driving ability, passing ability, just putting people in positions to score is on par with Steve Nash, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not mad at that.
since the Rockets decided, you know what, we're going to go small ball, that basically means you're going to go guard versus guard, right?
Yeah.
So that means it's going to be Westbrook and Harden versus Shea Gilgeous and Chris Paul. And honestly speaking, the reason why OKC won these last 2 games in a row to tie the series, in my opinion, is because Chris Paul is just flat out better than James Harden. Not at scoring, but just
As a player.
Just as a player.
In the full totality of what it means to be an NBA player.
And I understand people coming, like, seeing Westbrook coming back and thinking, oh, it's over. But that's not the case. Like, just to my point earlier,
Yeah.
he staggers the offense.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Chris
not mad
Paul,
at that.
and Chris Paul's gonna play on that.
Can I-
Chris
I'm not
Paul's
mad
gonna
at
know that.
Go
And
ahead.
I think Chris Paul is gonna up tempo the offense this tonight. Like, I think he's gonna be like, I know Westbrook's gonna want to get his shit off, and I'm gonna make sure we're pushing the ball with me, Shea Gilgeous. Shea Gilgeous may just have 30 tonight. Chris Paul may just have 10 assists. Like,
Look, definitely looking forward to that game.
But,
Get your shit off.
can I please say something?
Get
Go
your shit
ahead.
off. Get your shit off.
Okay, so first of all, your
I'm
points
not
are
mad,
great.
though.
Points are
Yeah.
great as
A
always.
lot
You
of
guys
great
are
points.
great basketball IQs,
Lot of
mind
great
you.
points.
Shit, you guys probably had no more basketball than my ass. But let me tell you this though: the only times that the OKC won these 2 games, the first time, I think it was 4 or 5 players from the OKC team had over 20 points. The second time they won, 3 or I think it was 3, maybe 4, had over 20 as well. And Dennis Schroeder had 30 points.
Dennis Schroeder is, in my opinion, the 6th man of the year. So I'm not surprised at that.
I mean, that's fine. I don't see Dennis Schroeder dropping 30 every game, though.
He's not, but in those games that he dropped 30,
Like, you guys understand.
you have to think whose point production was he making up for?
yeah.
That's how you have to look at it. Like, Shea Gilgeous can give you 25 a night. Chris Paul's going to give you 20, 15 to 20, but also create so many other opportunities.
But also, to put my point up is that OKC never blew their asses
100%.
out.
Houston
Game
blew them
1,
out. Yeah.
the Rockets whooped that ass. Game 1.
But-
Game 2, it was a closer
but
game.
then-
What was the common denominator,
But
Daniel?
no.
But
hear
now
me
you
out.
understand. Russell Westbrook is back.
But no, hear me
Three-point
out. So
shooting,
Daniel, to my point, what I'm saying is Russell
Yes.
Westbrook is not coming off the bench.
Yeah, and
he's starting with James Harden.
That's
James
fine.
Harden, no, but hear me
A.
out. Offensively, what James Harden was doing was he was doing his thing. Step back, boom, wet. Go inside. If he's not open for the layup, kick it to somebody.
I will say,
Westbrook is going to be one of the players he's going to be kicking to.
I will
Westbrook's
say, though,
not spot up.
D'Antoni
But it's not
had-
just that.
Wait.
Okay.
D'Antoni has tried to, what Harden starts, Westbrook comes in when Harden comes out.
I
He
hear
has
you,
tried that.
but they
So,
start together. Unfortunately,
I think in the playoffs,
But
D'Antoni
you
starts
also
in the
got to
game.
understand though, the people that James Harden could drive in because you know he's going to be double teamed. He posts it out. The people I'm talking about, I'm talking about Eric Gordon. I'm talking about
who has been horrible from 3 this series.
Facts.
Okay, I mean,
Devon House, horrible from 3 this
I
series.
mean,
Covington, horrible from 3
didn't
this
they
series.
break the record this year?
Bro,
no, they turned it on for game 1 and 2.
Daniel,
But
and Daniel,
off.
if you shoot 70 threes, you're bound to make 25 in the NBA.
Okay,
You're
but
bound
there's-
to.
But regardless, still hitting the three.
They've not only broken the record for attempts, they've broken the record for makes. So I get your point, but how does Russell Westbrook coming back help them when we've seen
Exactly.
OKC beat them when they make 20 plus threes?
So
Like Westbrook isn't going to help you make more threes.
It's basically you live by the 3, you die by the 3.
and
if
they
you're
have
adding
chosen to die by it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you add someone who isn't really shit from 3-pointers,
But it's
like-
not even just their offense. That gives them more defensively as well. Russell Westbrook's a
Who?
great. It's not a terrible. He's not bad defending
He's
at all.
actually one of the
He's-
lowest defenders per PER at one-on-one.
If we look at numbers,
If we look at-
numbers,
if we're
I
looking
gotta
at
look that up.
numbers.
I gotta look that
hey,
up.
no,
Yeah.
hey,
But
I know
OKC in
that-
7, OKC in 7, Houston in.
I got Houston in 7.
Okay, so you got OKC winning one more.
Well, I can see OKC winning
Okay,
one. I wouldn't
okay.
be surprised.
Okay, see,
But
I thought
got
you were about to say Houston in 6.
in order, because these two don't think I predicted the series.
Oh my
OKC wins tonight. What's today? The 29th?
29.
OKC wins tonight. Houston wins the next game, and then OKC wins in 7. Prediction made.
Next series, my brother.
Well, this one is
This is,
also.
this is also up in the air, right? Both
Yeah.
of them are up in the air.
And
So
I'm
we'll-
not gonna lie. I'm gonna say my piece first for the Denver and Utah.
Go ahead.
I
Just
say-
give me
I
your
say-
prediction.
Denver in 7, bro.
It's 2-2?
Versus.
Utah. Denver in
No,
7.
but Denver versus who? LA or Dallas?
No, it's either.
That's what I'm saying. So give me your prediction for the second
I
round.
think the Clippers are gonna win because Porzingis is out.
Okay, so you got Denver versus Clippers.
Yes.
Okay, so wrong. I got Utah in 6. Utah's about to win tonight. They're playing tonight?
No.
Okay, all right. The
They play
Clippers.
tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. I got Utah winning tomorrow. Well, whenever you're listening to this, I got Utah winning in 6. Unfortunately, Kristaps Porzingis got hurt.
Yeah.
Have we seen Dallas beat LA without Kristaps? Yes.
Yep.
Is that sustainable? No.
No, they got.
Therefore,
The NBA wouldn't even let it.
with
They got their ass
with
whooped last
Kristaps in, I got Dallas in 7.
Can I just say, I'm gonna let you talk your shit, but I say that Dallas without Kristaps, if the NBA actually lets them play game 1 out and actually lets them get that win, and they're
You
up
mean
to
game 6?
it was
You said game 1.
it was game 1, right?
Oh, you're talking about the technical fouls.
I'm talking about the technical fouls where
The
Kristaps
series
got.
is yes.
So
yes.
if Dallas wins that game, I like without Porzingis, Doncic being in a position to win. Doncic, whatever the fuck.
Oh, you
Look,
say long dick.
Luka long dick,
Luka
man.
long
That
dick.
boy got a long dick for a white boy. Listen, anyway. So what I'm trying to say is, if he is in a position where he's up 2-1 against the fucking Clippers, I like him to pull it out. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, hypothetically, I got Dallas winning the series. Unfortunately, Kristaps hurt. Luka dealing with a little like they're just fuck.
Yeah.
No, they
It's
got their
fucked,
ass
man.
whooped last game. They're gonna
It's
get their ass
fucked.
whooped this game,
fucked.
guaranteed.
All right, Charles. Yeah, unfortunately I got the Clippers winning the series. I got them going up against Utah. That is an interesting matchup. Do you go get your shit off? Do you got Utah, Denver, Clippers,
All right,
Mavericks?
I'll let you
Good,
end with a
let's go, let's
bang.
go.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my shit off. Look, so okay, I got Utah winning the series. Defense wins championships, obviously. Like Denver just doesn't have the defense to stop Donovan Mitchell. Like Donovan Mitchell's averaging 40 right now. Like what is it? Like something crazy.
Dude, 50 points in 2 games in the same series.
Like it's
wow.
Yeah, like
Wow.
fuck you. Like that's a big fuck you
Wow.
to
And
the fucking like.
No,
Nuggets.
they've been going on the battles though. So is
But my thing is, Denver doesn't have the defensive firepower and with Gary Harris
At
and Will
all.
Barton being out, nor do they have an answer for Utah's 3-point shooting.
At all.
They just don't.
So-
My problems with Denver lie
And
defensively.
oh my God, Mike Conley coming back. We'll get into that.
Such
in
a
that-
huge addition.
We'll get into that in
Such
the
a huge
actual
addition.
episode, but for now, playoff predictions, Mike Conley coming back basically just ends the series, honestly. So Utah
Give me
wins.
Utah in 6.
Utah in 6. And then Clippers, unfortunately, because of injury and
Unfortunately.
circumstances, and because of bullshit technical
Fuck
foul.
you, Kane Fitzgerald.
So because of that, Lakers play Utah. I mean, not Lakers. Clippers play Utah.
Yeah.
And I have Utah.
You have Utah
stop,
beating the Clippers?
Stop.
Whoa, you
Y'all
got
let me finish.
Let him get a shot. Let him get a
I
shot.
have
Let him get a shot.
Utah losing in 6.
Hey, he for sure changed his mind.
I didn't
He
change
for
my
sure
mind.
changed
No,
his
you
mind
did for sure.
mid-sentence.
No, hear me out.
Mid-sentence, bro.
I didn't change my mind.
Be
only
real.
only because I predicted since game 1 of the season, since I got the notification that fucking OKC traded 4 first round draft picks for Paul George, that the Clippers and the Lakers were gonna be in the Western Conference Finals together.
Clippers in 4 against Utah.
Clippers in 4.
Clippers in 4.
4.
They got their shit checked by Dallas. If you think the Clippers are
thing is
coming
that-
anything less than hard for the rest of the playoffs, you're sleep. Paul George, I'm sorry. I'm going to actually call you Paul George, Pandemic. Pandemic Paul. I hate your game.
He said in
I
4.
don't think you're clutch. I think you're one of the most overrated players in the NBA.
Then how do you have him in 4?
However,
Oh my God.
I think he delivers against Utah because there's little to no pressure.
Is Dallas?
Hey, wait for the episode to come out on the Western Conference Finals. Can you stop dropping that?
Is Dallas a better defensive team than Utah?
Not at all. But
Not at
Paul
all.
George
So-
averaged 10 points a game this series.
So
bro.
wait. So he averages 10 points against a worse defensive team, but you think he's gonna average more against the?
He's finally right mentally, and in the basketball world, that's all that matters. There's no one that can actually guard Paul George outside of the best defenders in the league.
But so
Utah has none of the best defenders
not
in the
only-
league.
So
I
only-
feel like I see Utah at least taking one game. at
So
least.
not only
I don't. I don't.
Not only is Dallas not a better defensive team than Utah, they are actually bottom like 5.
They're
in the
terrible
league.
at defense.
So
When the
if Paul
Clippers
George-
sweep
no, let me
them,
talk my
I'm
shit.
so excited for you to come on
So,
this podcast and say
I will.
thank you.
Hey, yo, remember this face, this cocky ass face, because at the end of the day, this guy is saying that a guy who averaged 10 points against the worst defensive team in the league is gonna average 30 against one of the best defensive teams in the league. Look at you. You just look goofy. Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, are you doing a shimmy? Are you trying to show off your titties? Or what the fuck you doing?
This guy has a John Wall jersey on. Like, come on.
Hey, Clippers in 4. Next series.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Clippers in 7. 6. Clippers in 6. Clippers in 6.
All right, man.
Well, wait, let's just do this one thing.
Go ahead.
What?
Who's winning the championship?
Ooh.
Just say right now. Don't even say why. I don't even want to know why. Just say who's winning the championship.
Who's gonna ring this year?
Who getting the ring?
LeBron gets ring number 4.
I love that. I love that.
Melo gets ring number 1. I'm out.
All right, bro.
With
Yeah,
that
I'm glad-
being said-
get the fuck out of here.
I'm so sorry that sometimes we provide you content that isn't worthy.
Yeah.
With that being said, my co-host is gone. Love y'all. Follow us at Behind the Logo 23 on Twitter, at Behind the Logo _ on Instagram. We always pulling up.